Joining us now from Cornerstone, First Financial, my good friend, Mark Livingstone. This guy is the mortgage guru. And by the way, if you're in the market for a mortgage or a refi or a reverse mortgage, and here's the thing. So many of my listeners have said, John, thank you for doing this for me. Go to your bank. That's fine. Go get all the paperwork in. You know, if you get approved, that's fine. Get the rate. Don't sign it. Call Mark. You can save hundreds of dollars a month for the same thing. Just call him up. And if you get turned down by your traditional bank because you got a ding here or a dingy there, call Mark up. He's got ways to get you approved for great rates. Mark, it's been way too long, man. Good to have you.
It has been too long, my friend. How are you? I'm coming at you live from the Cornerstone First Financial Command Post right here in not-so-sunny Washington, D.C. We can still see the Washington Monument about, I'd say, 6 blocks south of us right here. And it's just good to talk to you, my friend. I've been listening, and when you say common sense, I love it. You have predicted Donald Trump since last year, and I got to be honest with you, John, I'm just coming clean. I kind of laughed when you said it, and then as he gained momentum, and I listened to you daily, and what you were saying and your predictions, I was like, wow, John really knows what he's talking about, and I just got to say, good job, my friend.
Well, thank you, and we're going to fight to win this thing, and when we do, the first 2 inauguration tickets that I am going to give have your name on them.
Oh, I love it. I love it. We did write that in our contract, didn't we? I will see you. I can't wait, my friend.
We put that you put that as a, laugh out loud addendum, and I tell you what, it's coming to fruition. Sometimes you got to roll the dice, man, but they got your name on it. They got your name.
Well, yes, and one of the things I'm looking forward to when Donald wins is just some of the deregulation of what this current administration has done to the banks, to the mortgage companies, between Dodd-Frank and the CFPB. It is just a tough time to be in the mortgage industry. As you know, I've been doing it for 20 years. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what it is about this administration. They don't like small businesses or whatever. They like big government. But it's a tough ride right now to be in the banking mortgage industry. I got to tell you.
You know what? This administration, Mark Livingstone, they never met a regulation they didn't like. That's really what the problem is. And they think they can overregulate anything, and all they do is put a chokehold on free enterprise, and it's been a disaster. By the way, again, check Mark out. Before you sign in the dotted line, be sure you're getting treated the right way. You get the best rate. Give them a call, 866-625-1221, 866-625-1221. Now, Mark, May 17th is Military Appreciation Month. What does that mean?
Well, no, this month right now marks the 17th annual Military Appreciation Month. And what that means is that in 1999, Congress enacted that May is going to be the official Military Appreciation Month for the entire country. This is a month that is set aside to honor those men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces who have both paid the ultimate sacrifice, but also those who are still serving today, just in recognition for what they've done for our country. The reason they picked May, actually coincidentally, is because in May there are more holidays for the armed services than any other month in the entire year. So just Military Appreciation Month, this is the 17th year. And so one of the things that we at Cornerstone First Financial are doing to honor these brave men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces is that if you're a veteran and you say, you heard me here on the John Fredericks Show, we will pay for your appraisal. Okay, that's a savings of $500.
Wow.
And I would say, John, the majority of the listeners that call in from your show are veterans. So this is an excellent opportunity. Did you know there are 23 million veterans in the United States currently, with a lion's share of them, John, right here on the East Coast, both up here in D.C. and then in your listening area? And from your listeners, the majority of the calls that we get are both for VA loans and reverse mortgages. So that's why it's important, I thought, to talk about the Military Appreciation Month and thank these men and women here on your show. There's 250,000 families transitioning every year from military into civilian life. And just as our way to thank them, that's what we're doing is we're offering them a free VA appraisal. And in most cases, we also can get them to skip at least 1, but sometimes 2 months payments as well. So that's just what we're doing here on the John Fredericks Show. Now, as far as interest rates, the last time that I was on the show, John, was right after the Fed had gone out and said that they were deciding not to do the interest rate hikes that they had earlier said they were going to do. And since then, we've really seen interest rates kind of stagnant, which is very exciting because it's still a great opportunity. I've been on here multiple times saying, hey, the end is near, the sky is falling, rates are going up. And we know that is true. Rates going up, it is imminent. However, since I was last on, rates are still right in line where they were last time, John. And what that means is for those veterans on a VA loan, we're offering 3.5%, and that's with Cornerstone paying all the closing costs.
It's unbelievable.
And if a veteran elects to pay his own closing costs, they can get as low as 3.25%. We just, I have a loan officer in my office, and he gave me permission to tell this story, John. Glenn Lyons, one of my loan officers, is working with Robert in Newport News. And Robert had 5.75% on his VA loan, current VA, and we got him down to 3.5%, paying his closing costs. His house in Newport News appraised for $180,000. We're saving Robert $256 a month and giving him $30,000 cash out so he can pay off credit cards and send his daughter, who's graduating this month, actually, from high school, and her friend on a trip to Europe, abroad. So it's just an exciting time to be able to help these veterans. And your listeners, I got to tell you, I love them. There's something different about the John Frederick listeners versus other listeners maybe up here in our listening area. What do you think that is?
Well, I think they're highly engaged, and they're very loyal, and they actually do pay attention to stuff, and they're looking to save money like everybody else. I mean, you get, I don't have the executive set. I don't have the CEOs tuning me in. I've got a, working class, middle class audience that drives to the shipyard, drives to the defense base, drives to school. They're teachers, and they're hard workers. And so they're engaged, and, you can save somebody $250 a month. I mean, it's an automobile payment. It makes a difference in their life. Now, I want to tell my listeners to call 866-625-1221. Mark Livingstone, Cornerstone First Financial. I want to tell you that Mark has been a founding sponsor of the John Fredericks Show. He's been here since the day I started. Went up when we were in Washington, D.C., and he's a fabulous sponsor of ours, and it's been a great relationship. And as you know, for me to do advocacy for our customers, it's people I know, people I trust, people that I've gotten great feedback from. We always get that from Mark. 866-625-1221, 866-625-1221, Mark Livingstone, Cornerstone
And John,
First
may I
Financial.
add that I actually have loan officers that came in early this morning to take your listeners' calls. They're in there right now, so if anyone wants to call and just get a quote for a VA loan, they're standing by. And I also wanted to mention that, the Washington Post recently did a study of how much homes have appreciated in specific areas since 2004. And I have this up on my Twitter feed, and I'm going to tweet it to you, but I broke it down by some of the zip codes in your listening area. So, for example, Chesapeake, Virginia, zip code 23321, has appreciated 19% since 2004. Hampton Roads, 23666, has appreciated 25%. Richmond, Virginia, 23289 and 23225, has appreciated up to 30%. And what this means for the listeners is that if they have a loan where they're paying monthly PMI, and they've tried to refinance before to get out of that PMI, or they've tried to refinance before to take some of that equity to pay off other debt, they should try it again now because these homes have appreciated, and they should at least let us run an analysis to see what their home has come in at. And again, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to tweet this study to you, and you put your specific zip code in this, John, and it will tell you exactly how much your zip code has appreciated, and then you can really do the due diligence and see if you qualify to take cash out, or if you qualify to remove the monthly PMI on your current mortgage.
Right, because a lot of people don't realize that since the crash, now home values are starting to go back up now, so it's a little bit different than it was, and so you got to be able to take advantage of this. But look, when you can tell a story that a veteran is able to save $250 a month basically for the same thing. I mean, it's just cash. I mean, it's not like you're getting a lower value or maybe the product isn't as good. It's just you save $250 a month. You save $3,000 for nothing just because you picked up the phone. Right.
The proceeds are tax-free. So if you're taking cash out of your home, whether a reverse mortgage or whether it's a VA loan, I know that Cornerstone First Financial is one of the very few lenders in the area that's offering 100% cash out to the value of your home with no mortgage insurance on a VA loan. So that veteran that I spoke about earlier, Robert, because his house appraised for $180,000, he was able to go to $180,000, and his house will continue to appreciate into perpetuity. So therefore, the delta between what he owes and what the house is worth will increase. He's taken out $180,000 now to pay off his current mortgage, pay for his daughter to go on that trip, and pay off credit cards. I mean, it sounds almost too good to be true. Also, for VA loans, if there's any disability on the veteran, then the VA waives the VA funding fee, and that's huge also. So it's just there's a lot of different options out there, and you want to make sure you're working with somebody that knows the in and outs of the products, whether it's VA, FHA, reverse, whatever it is. There's so many different products and options out there, and it's sad because I'll hear stories sometimes of these consumers that call banks, and the loan officers don't even know what they're talking about. They don't have a wide array of products like we do as a mortgage broker and lender. So if we don't have the product on our lender line, we can broker it out to a company that does. And that's why I say on all my radio spots, hey, we'll meet or beat any competitor out there.
Well, that's the bottom line, and you can save a lot of money. And also, if you've been turned down, remember this. Let's say you've been turned down by a bank. You're frustrated because you have a couple things in your credit. But if you got a score from 580 to 640, you are good to go with Mark Livingstone and Cornerstone First Financial at 866-625-1221. Mark, reverse mortgages for seniors now being called home pensions. Seems like a little play on words, but why the name change?
Well, what it is because reverse mortgages in the past, John, have always had a negative connotation. Because 20 years ago, when reverse mortgages were really in their infancy, unfortunately, there were some people out there taking advantage of seniors. The reverse mortgages are HUD-backed, and what that means is that HUD has now come in, and they are putting these regulations, so it's much harder to do anything that's not on the up and up with the reverse mortgages. So therefore, there's a lot of people. For example, a report that I just read about a economist at MIT is now endorsing these reverse mortgages, saying that they are what's going to be for the future, and all we need to do is change the name to home pensions. Because when you take out a reverse mortgage, you have the option of getting it as an annuity, a lump sum, or a line of credit. And, seniors want to be able to tap in and get that home equity out. And the reason that a reverse mortgage might come in is because on a forward mortgage, a standard loan, you have to make enough money to qualify for that forward mortgage. Well, on a reverse mortgage, John, there's no regulations as far as income or credit worthiness. The senior, as long as they have equity in the home, can qualify to take that equity out tax-free and live in their home as long as they want to. As long as they are living in the home as their primary residence, they can then tap into that equity. And it's gotten a bad name at times. This economist that I just mentioned went on to say that the only detrimental thing about a reverse mortgage are the critics that are usually the children of the seniors that don't understand the product. And again, it comes back to aligning yourself who knows the product, aligning yourself with someone that knows it and can explain it to the family members, to the seniors, to make sure that they understand what they're getting into. And it's just a matter of, understanding it. And as I say all the time, even if you're not using Cornerstone First Financial to do the loan, use us as a sounding board to make sure you're getting the best deal for you and your family, whether it be a reverse mortgage, whether it be a VA loan or FHA loan.
That's it. And in order to do that, all you need is one name, Mark Livingstone, and Cornerstone First Financial. If you want to go online, you can do that too. You can go to cornerstonefirst.com. But the best thing is to do is pick up the phone. I like the phone because I like to talk to people. You're not going to be talking to somebody in Pakistan. You're going to be talking to somebody at the Cornerstone First Financial Command Center in Washington, D.C. You got to talk to a live person that knows what to do and that is there to help you. That's the thing I like about it. If I call any of these people and I get a 5-second delay, and then I was called somebody the other day, they could not understand English. I don't really know what the deal is, but I guess it is what it is. But here's the number, 866-625-1221, 866-625-1221, or online at cornerstonefirst.com. And I got to tell all so many people that have called me or texted me and said, dude, you know what? I saved $100. I saved $200. I saved $250 a month just by making an 800 number free phone call. This is the greatest thing this guy offers since sliced bread. Call him, 866-625-1221. And I tell my listeners too, Mark has been there with me from day one. I wouldn't be on the air without him. Thank you, Mark.
Hey, it is my pleasure, my friend. And again, just that offer to honor the military, since it is Military Appreciation Month, a free appraisal for those veterans that call us and end up doing the loan with us. It makes sense. Just do yourself a favor, get a quote, see what we can do. We have loan officers in the office this morning waiting to take your call. If you're in your car, just call so it's in your cell phone. And that number is 866-625-1221, whether it's for a reverse purchase, a VA loan, purchase, FHA, anything. These rates will be going up, John, I assure you. And I look forward to talking to you in another 2 to 3 weeks and giving you another update, my friend.
We can't wait to hear your update. All right. I want to thank again Mark Livingstone, Cornerstone First Financial. Go to cornerstonefirst.com. Thank you, Mark.